Holy crap, things just changed. I know there's some crazy things happening right now that just came out. We also have something really big happening in about 1 hour from the time of this recording, and I'll give you an update when that happens. But there's some interesting things happening in the market that I think people are just missing. I want to go through those. If you don't mind, if you find this video helpful in any way, hit subscribe. If you don't, you can hit unsubscribe. Also, there's that bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this as soon as I make them. Now, the really juicy stuff is further into the video. At first, we have to cover some of the crypto news, but then the big changes are maybe halfway through the video or a little bit further. There's also a link underneath the video to Margex where you can start trading cryptocurrencies using leverage. As you can see, I placed a trade like right here that bounced up, a really aggressive trade. It's up 412%, 411% right now. We have another one up 56%, another one that's up 476%. That one I actually put a good amount more into that one. So if you want to trade like this, there's no KYC. You don't need a VPN. You can start trading in just a few minutes. Of course, always check their terms and conditions. But as you can see, Bitcoin is looking interesting. You can see it's kind of held down by this line right here, but we kept on bouncing off this line in this triangle. And yeah, I'm excited to see a breakout potentially after a speech in about an hour. Now, of course, anything can happen, right? I'm not telling you exactly what's going to happen, but that is something I see as a real possibility. BlackRock buys 1,252 Bitcoin. Flows keep coming. Wow. Okay. So this is pushing them over the 351K mark, I believe, maybe 352K mark, which, I mean, they've just been swallowing up so much Bitcoin. You can see some of the other funds as well, how much they've added. FBTC added about 9.2 million. BITB actually had a small outflow. ARKB, $8 million of inflows. HODL, BTCW, both with a few million. And then we still have large outflows from GBTC. Of course, there are some days where they've had inflows and a handful of days where they had zero, but $30 million yesterday coming out of GBTC. So what keeps on happening? The short-term mines keep on losing Bitcoin. That's GBTC. They continue to see outflows. They're near 20 billion in outflows. I wonder if that's one of the largest outflows we've ever seen from an ETF. I'm not sure with some of the like financial crisis and stuff, if there are bigger outflows than that, but just a massive amount. And then the smart money that didn't charge high fees has $21 million of inflows. And, FBTC is getting awfully close to $10 billion of inflows. Some of the best performing ETFs this year. Bitcoin has been chopping around for 5 months now. You've made it through 5 months of boringness. Historically, Q4 has seen strong bullish trends with a median return of 57% for BTC. Are you ready? Take a look at this. So we're in Q3, just for anyone that doesn't know. We're like 2/3 the way through Q3. And in 2024, so far, we've had a negative 3.25% Q3. Last year, we had a negative 12%. The year before that, we had a negative 3% year. Then back in the bulls, we did actually have, back in 2020 and 2021, we actually had a pretty good Q3, 18%, 25%. But Q4 is usually where it's at. The average for Q3 is actually the worst average of the entire year. And the median is also the worst for Q3. However, Q4 is by far the best month, with the median around 57%, and more importantly, the average around 88 or 89%. Now, do I think we're going up 88% in Q4? No, I think that would be a little bit high. That would put us well over 100,000, close to 115,000. I think it will take a little bit longer, but could I see 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%? Yeah, I think that's possible. Pushing us up closer and closer to 100,000, maybe 90,000, right? 85,000, somewhere in there. I think a lot of people would be excited about that, knowing that next year is usually the best year, right? 2021 was a great year for Bitcoin. 2017, great year for Bitcoin. So I think we are in a good place. Sony is launching a new public ETH Layer 2 blockchain and ecosystem called Soneium. or Soneium. Soneium aims to integrate blockchain into Sony's consumer products within the next 2 years. So they are getting into crypto heavy. I believe they've already been in crypto. They have had several announcements that were crypto related over the years. But yeah, cool to see them creating a layer 2. This is why it's really hard, I think, to invest in layer 2s these days, because you can make another one and you fight for all that available, all those available transactions. Yes, that happens with layer 1s, but it's easier to tell the layer 1 winners, I believe. Okay, this is where things get interesting. RFK Jr. withdraws from the presidential race as the Trump team announces a special guest at their campaign rally in Arizona. Just a few days ago, the RFK Jr.'s vice candidate mentioned, or just kind of threw it out there, that they are considering backing Trump, right? Giving their basically, I think it's around 1%, maybe 0.5% to 1% of voters over to Trump. That's pretty bullish. Of course, some people might choose to go with Kamala, but I think most would probably go with Trump after this. It's very bullish for Trump specifically, and the markets do seem to like Trump. Right now, Trump is at a 51% chance of winning, Kamala Harris at 47% according to Polymarket. So that'll be interesting to watch. Now, what everyone's watching today is not the election, race. It's Jerome Powell. He's speaking at Jackson Hole. This is the first time that we've seen him talk since last month, I believe, when he was talking about, or when they had the Fed rate decision. Everyone's going to be paying attention because we're about 3-4 weeks away from the next rate cut, and everyone wants to see his view on the market. There have been some concerning job numbers that have come out. Inflation's been really low, and they want to see, okay, is he hinting at 50 basis points, which he said they pretty much weren't thinking about last speech, or are they going with 25? Someone from the Fed earlier this week said that they're really looking at cutting slowly, which honestly, it's hard to tell what the market is going to do if he says, yeah, we're considering cutting 50 basis points, or when they actually do cut, if they cut 50 basis points, depending on how he frames it, I think that drastically changes the market's reaction. Like if he says, yeah, we've had some very concerning numbers, so we're going to cut 50 basis points versus we feel confident and we were considering 25, but we think it would make a little bit more sense to go 50. Those are two different scenarios, and that changes the market sentiment a good amount in my mind. But it will be interesting to see. Of course, this is where 100,000 or 1 million finance nerds go and watch one person talk about the economy, and he can just change one word or like how he looks, and people change their viewpoint on the market. So it is interesting. Overall, though, it seems pretty obvious that we are getting rate cuts, which should be good for risk on assets. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video, though. I'll probably give an update once the speech is done. Let me know your thoughts, though. Maybe I'll go live even. Let me know if you want to see that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.